So I spent quite some time here trying to film a video about Ghost in the Shell, the animated movie of 1995, and apparently my memory card filled up. So now I'm going to have to talk about it again, even though nobody cares. Ha ha ha. I just love it. Talking about the same thing over and over and over again. I actually do. Recently I rewatched Ghost in the Shell, the animated movie of 1995, the Japanese one, and I'm not an otaku, so I don't usually watch anime. I do enjoy some anime, and I generally enjoy Japanese art. It's just that it's a little hard to find anime that I don't hate after season 1, so you can give me recommendations. But Ghost in the Shell is something that I watched when I was very little. When it just came out, they were showing it on local TV. So I was exposed to it at a very early age, and I was definitely not ready. I was not prepared, and I didn't understand what it was about. It was scary to me, and I didn't enjoy it, okay? But recently, after rewatching it, I enjoyed it much more, and I think that I really enjoyed the following aspect. The fact that they give you a very straightforward thesis that is very readable and accessible. So at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, they pretty much tell you through the artificial intelligence sharing why it did what it did. It told you the thesis of the movie. So, and I love that when creators are being straightforward, and I love that when they do not moralize. So in this movie, you don't see the artificial intelligence being evil. It just is, and it wants to survive, and it wants to propagate, and it wants to carry on its memory, just like any other living species would. At least this is what the artificial intelligence shares at the end. And I think that this is a very interesting view on the issue, so to speak, of artificial intelligence, because it seems like in the mainstream art, the more common theme for artificial intelligence is that it is insert some kind of a moral label and then insert the solution that we the people have to come up with in order to rid ourselves of this problem, quote unquote. And I think that dialectical analysis can help in such cases if you look at the problem from all of the angles and consider the unity and struggle of the opposites, then you will be able to assess the risks of something happening, and you can predict something happening without inserting this unnecessary moralization into the mix. So I think that Ghost in the Shell actually gave you more of a dialectical view. But the reason why I think that Ghost in the Shell is more dialectic rather than, let's say, idealistic is because they kind of leave it out for us, the audience, to decide what's going to happen next. And obviously in the manga and in the second movie, they will tell us more about it. And this is why I don't want to watch it or read it or be exposed to it, because I think movie 1 is enough. You know, it gives you some food for thought concerning the issue, and it gives you a pretty fair view of artificial intelligence. Again, as I said, it's not painted evil, it's not painted like a villain, it's not given any kind of profit-based incentive. It is given an incentive that is understandable by anyone who's alive. The creature, something that has consciousness, wants to keep on living and wants to preserve its memory and its DNA, so to speak, and it wants to propagate and wants to develop. And that's a very easy to grasp concept for the vast majority of us. So again, I think they did a good job depicting that, as well as that they went about it in a very matter-of-factly way. It's like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Whether you like it or not, plan for it or not, it's gonna happen. So I think that we, in the real world, can really learn from this movie that if we are bothered by something happening, if we're afraid of something happening, then we should probably think about whether we should engage with any activity that may lead to this. And usually we don't have enough data before something occurs to draw any kind of conclusions, but we can always hypothesize based on the current data. So this is again something that dialectics can help us with. We can look at the issue from as many angles as possible and analyze all the contradictions of the issue, and then it can be really helpful to assess how risky or dangerous something might be. And I think that people fail to assume responsibility for what they do very often. They say, well, we want artificial intelligence to do as we please, yet we do not want it to develop its own consciousness. And that is, to me, a little peculiar, because it is something that may happen, and I'm not saying it will, I'm saying it may. So if you are uncomfortable with the idea of this happening, then you should plan accordingly. Obviously, we as lay people have little to no say in the process of the development of such technologies, and we can obviously change that by engaging in communist discourse on the internet. I'm just kidding. But I think movies like Ghost in the Shell really do have their place, and I wish there were more movies like this, and not the kind of movies that feed us propaganda, that tell us what to think, and don't leave anything for us to ponder upon but this glaring, meaningless, virtue signaling nonsense. Okay, so let me know if you watched this movie, and if you enjoy it, you can leave out your anime recommendations, and don't make fun of me, okay?